Today we're going to get some advice from Spirit in regards to your creative journey, in regards to how you express your creativity. So we can say creative, oh, there they come. Creative advice from Spirit or creativity advice from Spirit. So first we got the Miracle card from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle and the Perception card. Oh, I'm excited to look into these. So a yellow card matching, oh my gosh, they both just really match the floral arrangement, don't they? So the green and the yellow, gosh, that's beautiful. So, and then, so we're going to read about these, but before doing that, I'm going to get some clarifiers, 1 or 2 clarifiers, or I guess whatever wants to come out from this Prism Oracle. And then at the end, we'll do the book method of divination with this book, Creative Mind and Success by Ernest Holmes. So before reading about the chakra cards, let's get, oh, look at that. They just want to come out. Wow. Okay, there we go. I was going to say some clarifiers. And we got 2 red cards, which is very interesting. Anger and Strength, with the bottom of the deck of the Prism Oracle being Growth. So this is already a very intriguing reading. So we're going to begin by reading about Miracle and Perception. And actually, I'm going to reverse that. We're going to read about Perception first and then Miracle. I'm not exactly sure why. But that is what wants to come through. So Perception is a green card. So we'll read about the green cards first. So if you've never encountered this Oracle deck, it's a really cool deck that's organized by chakras. So the 7 different main energy systems of our energetic body. And so there's 7 cards within each chakra, and each chakra is represented by a color. And so we'll start with the green chakra, which is your heart chakra. And we'll read about the overall energy of the green chakra, and then we'll read more specifically about this card, Perception. Discover the wisdom of your heart. Overall impression, love. Keywords, balance, harmony, brotherhood, hope, growth, healing, love, peace, prosperity. Manifesting intention. The 4th chakra, the heart chakra, relates to matters of the heart. In manifesting, we are always blocked if our heart is not in it. There's something very pivotal about every green card, as though each one indicates a key moment of personal choice. They tell us about the heart of the matter. In this chakra, we decide whether we will proceed or whether things will get kicked back to the yellow chakra. Oh, interesting. Where we spend time thinking about or processing our decisions. Okay, so that's just interesting that I wanted to switch the order of the card, and then that is said. Okay, I'm going to continue. In essence, we will see that we will see here whether your heart is truly invested in the actions you are willing to take. Every green card owns the distinction of revealing what happens when you do or do not follow your heart. The question these cards ask is, what does your heart tell you? Okay, so now we're going to read about the specific card, Perception. And what I always like to say about this deck is it's very whimsical and nuanced. At least that's how I find it. So there's lots of different ways that the author kind of comes at the meaning of the cards. So what I would encourage you to do is just like really take a breath, listen to the stories, listen to the key ideas, the keywords, and really take note of what specifically and personally, or what specifically resonates with you personally, okay? Because there's going to be messages there in what resonates. So here we go. Perception. Emerald stone. The heart knows what the eyes cannot see. The legend. A young princess wanders into her untended garden. As she claws through the decaying undergrowth, she finds a brilliant emerald stone. The stone speaks and tells the princess to open an old wooden door. She enters a dark corridor, and the door slams shut. Afraid, she moves forward until her hands fall upon another door. It opens to reveal the same garden she left behind. Only now it is beautiful, filled with flowers, butterflies, and birds. It is magnificent and familiar. Inspiration. Often our journey brings us full circle, leaving us to wonder why things happen. Emerald stone teaches us to follow through on whatever is before us. Going back is not an option. Well, that seems very That's a very strong message. I'm interjecting here, but so whatever's going on with you creatively, there is clearly like it might be that you're in between that corridor. So the door behind you has shut, but you're still in the dark corridor seeking for the door in front of you to open, or you are beginning to open into that new garden. But I think what it just like struck me very strongly that, when it says going back is not an option. So whatever you are working on creatively, keep going, keep moving forward. And if there's a sense of like, I wish I could go back, or maybe I did this wrong, or regrets, I think this is a strong invitation to catch that. And when you catch that sort of energy, to shift your focus forward and to keep putting one step in front of the other, or one foot in front of the other, excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading here. Personal inquiry. What in my life needs tending? How good will I allow myself to feel? Key ideas: transformation in the heart, change in perception, the unknown, promise of a richer experience. Keywords: beauty, open-heartedness, appreciation. Meditation. Begin to imagine the emerald stone. When you see it, place it in your untended garden. Feel waves of the emerald light filling you with courage. Emerald stone may have thoughts to help you. Listen carefully. When you are ready, see what has changed. What that's making me think of is thinking like doing some like future self meditations. And I actually have a guided future self meditation on this channel. So I will link to it in the description box. But it doesn't have to be mine. It can be any sort of meditations where you're feeling into the next level of your creative project or your creativity. And you're noticing the differences between that and your present. So the differences in your surroundings, the differences in how you're showing up, the differences in how you're like even how you're dressing and things of that that nature, because all that can be information about how we can move forward, right? When we use our imagination to feel into our next level and notice the big and seemingly small differences of who we are, where we're at, so on and so forth in that next level compared to now, and begin to slowly bridge that gap. So I guess, excuse me, one thing that wants to be said there too is who you are in your everyday life also affects your creativity. So there might be an invitation here, or some advice from Spirit might be not to like fixate just on your creative path and your creative journey. Of course, your creativity and your creative journey and what you are creating is important, but also realizing, like seeing your life as a whole and realizing changes that you make in any area of your life will affect your creativity. So if there's like, for example, changes that you can make in your home or your wardrobe or your food or your body, right, that don't seem to affect your creativity, realizing that everything affects everything, right? And so seeing your creative life a bit more holistically and integrated with the rest of your life, I think is going to be really helpful. So before we move from the perception card, we're just going to read this small paragraph that summarizes it. It says, Emerald offers a regal ability to see things differently and the chance of embracing transformation. There is an ability to attract wealth here if you have an open heart. Oh, how wonderful is that? So we're going to move to the miracle card. Excuse me. But I just noticing that, so at the bottom of the deck with the Prism Oracle is growth, and then I just looked here and it's magic. And so, which is like, these colors are really playing off, the purple and the green. She's got a purple dress on with the green. And so I think like, underlying, so what bottom of the deck means to me is what is underlying this whole journey, right? What's the overarching theme? What is the why behind what you're being asked to do? And so there definitely is something really, really beautiful with what your creative journey is, like the transformation it is a catalyst for is bigger than just what you're creating. Does that make sense? Like you really are growing and unlocking more magic in your life. And okay, so now I'm just, because when these two came out, I was like, I wonder if one is clear. I didn't know if the two were clarifying the overall message, which might kind of be the case, or if the one card was clarifying, if the anger card was clarifying one of the chakra cards and the strength card was clarifying the other. And right now I'm kind of getting that sense. Like, I don't know what the miracle card says here, so we'll have to see if the strength card makes sense. But one reason I'm getting the sense that the anger card is clarifying the perception is it has this massive eye on it, right? And so, which definitely points to perception, how we see things, right? And so one thing that's coming to me is one way to maybe unlock more, definitely healing. And anytime we can do healing in any regard, that positively affects our creative expression, right? How our creativity flows and what we create, right? So one way to unlock that healing is going to be through your relationship with anger. And not only do I think that unlocks like healing, which then will ripple to your creativity, but I also think your relationship with anger, looking at that, could more directly affect your creativity. And so what's really coming to me with this anger card is sacred rage. Are you familiar with that term? It was at one point a very new term for me. So I guess what's there's just like this huge juxtaposition between the way that this like woman, this princess, this maiden is being like presented here, and then the anger card, right? And so what that's really speaking to me about is, a lot of us, especially if you're tuning in and you identify with more like feminine qualities, a lot of us who that is the case for in our society, we've been really trained to tame our anger and tame our rage, right? And so as we begin to heal and embody who we truly are more and more, there's a relationship with anger and rage that we have to change or get into, because, well, I'll just speak from my own experience. It's like I thought all anger was bad. Do you know what I mean? It was like I was unconsciously, what did I say? I just say consciously, unconsciously. I was unconsciously, constantly suppressing and repressing my anger, right? And so as I began to open up to my healing process, which again has positively impacted my creativity, as I did that, there was a lot of rage that I was not expecting that needed to be dealt with, and continues in my life to need to be dealt with. And so my relationship with anger and my relationship with rage had to change. I had to see it as a message. I had to harness it, not in a way where I was like bypassing it or not listening to it, but realizing that I could feel my anger and I could listen to it. I could get information from it without hurting others. Do you know what I mean? But if I thought always when anger came up that it was bad, then I was like I wasn't able to unlock what the anger was helping me unlock. And that's what I feel like in this particular reading, what this like jagged line, which almost feels like lightning to me, is representing like this. And think of it, that's a lot of times how creativity can come, right? We have to cultivate it, but certain things come with like lightning clarity, right? And so I think there's something here about your perception changing on anger. And also when we were willing to feel our anger and notice our anger and not bypass it or stuff it down, it gives us a different lens on life, right? Because then we're like, wait, I don't like how I'm treated there. Wait, I don't like how those people are treated. Wait, you know what I mean? There's a clarity to anger that is really, really empowering. And so, and again, I'm just seeing like the juxtaposition of this like maiden, this princess with this anger. And I think there's a breaking down of this idea that the assumption that this maiden isn't angry a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a perception that I think needs to change in order for your next level of creativity to flow through, that you can use anger and you can be this kind, gentle soul. That actually we have to get in touch with our anger to be truly kind and truly gentle. Does that make sense? So there's something here powerfully with that in terms of your healing, but then how it will directly impact your creativity. So with all that being said, let's look up the miracle card. It's a yellow card, so we'll start with reading about the yellow cards in general. So this is your solar plexus chakra. This is the space right above your belly button, the center of your being. Yellow, explore your thought processes. Overall impression, intellectual. Keywords, creative, excuse me, intellect, precise, cooperative, reasonable, innovation, originality, wisdom, and instinct. Manifesting intention. The yellow cards of the third chakra, the solar plexus chakra, reveal our planning processes. Do you have a logical or scattered approach? Because they represent thinking and problem solving, yellow cards reveal our ability to resolve issues. In essence, they show what's on our mind. In yellow, we turn on the lights and let the spirits know we are home. If we don't let them know where we are, they cannot bring us our desires. Ultimately, the third chakra relates to our instinct and how our life is directed by it. When we can see how our instinct guides our thoughts, we will understand why we do what we do. And when it relates to our emotions, instinct is frequently the first thing that gets shut down. Remember what I said. Look to the previous chakra, the second chakra in this case, if you feel blocked. Every decision we have ever made is in a flash, to move forward or to stop. There is a moment, a split second, in which we decide. In this chakra, you decide if you will allow magic into your life. Weird, that's interesting that the magic card would come out and it says that. Okay, miracle. Sun sparkler. Integrity is what turns on the light. The legend. Excuse me. Darkville is a town of self-centered people. One day, Betty is given too much change after making a purchase, and she returns the extra money. A brilliant light bursts from the stump of the dead oak tree in the center of the town. The citizens are bewildered by the sudden brightness, but neither question the sun sparkler nor change their cheating ways. One day a child asks if why it came. One day a child asks it why it came. It tells her that it shines for all that is good in the world and appears when the good deed occurs. The residents of Darkville are touched and become more selfless. Inspiration. Do you let someone in or do you pretend not to see them? You cannot shut out pain without shutting out pleasure. Kindness exists to lend magic to integrity. Personal inquiry. The essence of inspiration is integrity. Wow. Wow, let's read that again. The essence of inspiration is integrity. So that's a powerful thing to be said in a creativity reading, right? So advice from spirit is the more you can get into integrity with yourself, the more inspiration will flow. Key ideas: being a light, lighting the way for others, coming miracles. Keywords: integrity, gifts, and reward. Meditation. Imagine a warm yellow light pouring down from the heavens. Stand directly under the vibrant energy as it showers over you. And it's just so interesting because I saw these yellow flowers on my walk yesterday, and I was just they were in the ditch, and I was just like so drawn to them. And don't they feel like the sun, right? So it's just so cool that in this particular reading, this all comes out. Okay, allow all material worries to melt away. Sun Sparkler will speak to you now. When you are finished, return to your normal consciousness and write down what you've heard. Okay, and then we'll read this final summarizing paragraph. The brightest of all thoughts resides in sun yellow, as natural radiance stems from pure integrity. Be honest and forthright no matter what. With the energy of the sun, a miracle awaits. You instinctively know what is authentic. Trust this. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So clearly there is strength in this call to integrity, right? So as you more and more step into integrity, whatever that means for you. So that can mean more getting into integrity with yourself, with the laws of Mother God, with the laws of Mother Nature. All of that is kind of one and the same, right? You build this stronger foundation for yourself, right? And so there's such strength in this in terms of your creative work, which is wonderful, right? I mean, sometimes it seems like we have to be like there's like what wants to be said is like we have to be like wildly creative, and I love that term, but in what's coming through in this particular reading is like almost like chaotically creative, right? And there's something here about like standing in your strength and like what wants to be like a taming of that chaos. So not a taming of your wildness, but a taming of chaos. And what is chaos? Chaos is anything that's not in alignment with that which is you, that which is authentic to you, that which is God, Mother God, that which is Mother Nature, right? And so there's like this strength in taming the chaos so that more can come through. And then there's something here clearly about perception where you might, as you do this, your perception will change. But also that your willingness to change your perception will help you do this, right? And part of that is having a willingness to feel angry instead of suppressing it, to feel and process your sacred rage so that you know what is authentically you. And all of this is going to lead to growth and magic. It's just so, so beautiful. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. I am really, really excited for you. Again, what wants to be said in reference to this perception card, but is something I'm feeling just throughout the whole thing, is keep going. So move one foot in front of the other, keep moving forward, and your life and your creative journey are going to help you process what needs to be processed and are going to help you transmute what needs to be transmuted so that you more and more are living in this integrity that is the foundation for your creative expression. So you're doing great work. Keep moving forward. I think you're only on the verge of unlocking more, which is sort of a weird way to say it, but hopefully you understand what I mean. You're on the verge of unlocking more beauty, more inspiration, more creativity, more flow and ease with how you flow your creativity and how you use it and express it. And then, sorry, one quick, oh, look at this. This pink card was just calling me, which leads to you being this kind soul that you are, being this bright light that you're intended to be, the love card. So I'm going to leave it at that. As I say that, I just keep talking, don't I? I just, the reason words keep wanting to come is I just want to like, I guess like validate your journey, your creative journey, and who you are in it, because I can really feel that from you. Like this call to more integrity is interesting because I can already feel you're such a being of integrity. And so part of this isn't even a call to integrity. It's almost like a permission slip that all the steps you're taking to become more in alignment with who you are and getting more clear about your values and aligning your life with those values is all very much seen and appreciated by Spirit. And this is just a permission slip to see it as benefiting your creative work and to keep going, because you really are this kind soul with so much to offer the world. And as you continue with this work, your creative work, but then also like the healing work that you're doing, you're just more and more going to be able to express that and allow in the magic of the being that you are and of the like the quote unquote rewards that your creativity wants to offer. Right? That's some of the last stuff that comes, right? Is those rewards. So the recognition, maybe the pentacles, the money, that kind of stuff, but it definitely is being unlocked by you as we speak. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for letting me read for you. You're such a cool being, and I'm excited to see what you create on this journey.